Hi friends, we continue with our Power BI course. If you have seen my previous video, what we did, we created a workbook with 4 columns: product name, city, country, and current stock levels with jackets and gloves and blazer, different cities, countries, and the number of items or number of unit of stocks we have for those items. And what we did, we created a simple table in Power BI and a slicer tool. And then what we learn about that how we can actually use this slicer tool, this filter tool, to see the stock level for different products in different cities. For example, if I uh, drop the menu down, I can see gloves, and you can see this table interacts with this slicer. As we select a different item, this table respond and provide an up-to-date number for gloves in different cities. If I use jackets, we can see in Birmingham 179, in Leeds in 75, in London 250. Now we will see some further settings we can do with this slicer tool. How we uploaded the data from Excel workbook, you can have a look at in my previous video, in the first video, and you will where I explained how we can upload the data into Power BI and create visuals. With this slicer tool, you can add this slicer tool from this available visuals in Power BI, and this is the slicer tool that we have added. If we can select this slicer tool and go to this format your visual link, you can further format your visual. If I can select the slicer setting, and you can see I have it as a drop down menu. If I do it maybe tiles, now it will become a tiles kind of a shape, where you can select different items like this, and you can see the table responds to whatever you are actually selecting in your tiles down there. And if I do it a vertical list, so the vertical list is slightly different. If I can see, the vertical list is giving you a radio buttons, where you can actually have a look at the the different items. We can also multi-select. Right now it is, if you click on the selection option, it is only single select mode at the moment, so you cannot multi-select the products. But if I just switch this off and select the multi-select option on, it now become a check boxes instead of radio buttons, right? So now we can multi-select. If you can see, if now I have blazers and caps both together. If you can see over here, blazers and caps. Now add the gloves as well. Take the gloves off, take the blazer caps off, only blazers right now. And if I do blazers and caps and gloves, blazer caps gloves, blazer caps gloves, so at the moment it is sorted on a city. If I just simply click this small arrow sign on the product column, it should then sort it out in on the product name. Blazers comes first, then caps, and then gloves. If I undo it and then I just simply do it on sorting on the city, so it's very interactive. And you can actually design in many different ways. Now let's see what other settings for the slices are there. So slicer header is on right now. So as you can see, the slicer header is the product name. Let's change the font size to maybe 20. let's change the color of slicer to black, and you can want, if you want to have a background, yes, and if you want to have a shadow background color, maybe this, and values. So the values, you want it small or large or a different font, and if you want to have a, say, border, like it will become like this, maybe slightly messy, so leave the borders unchecked. So there are some generic settings as well in along with this visual specific settings. You can go into journal, and now you have a different type of settings over here as well. Like if I select on effects, it's right now the color is white and it's a shadow. So if I undo the shadow, you can see the shadow disappears, and these are the general settings available on all the visuals that you can do. If I click on the title, you can do another title over here, product name. This is the product slicer. You can see the title appears over here, and there are some other settings as well which you can actually do with all the visuals, along with some visual specific settings which we can see over here. So these are the slicer settings, and now let's see if we can have a different visual as well along with this slicer. If I, you can see this is a page, the report page over here. Let's add another page. Maybe we can duplicate this page, and we keep working on, if I just rename it to maybe table and matrix visuals. We will keep this slicer on top. Let's just change the setting it to single select, and drop down menu, as it will take less space, and single select to start with. We will reduce the size and take this product name on top over here, right? And if you can see, we have a table tool down here. Let's add the matrix tool. So what the table tool is does, it's simple, add the columns in a series, and it's a simple column. It's not a matrix like row column combination that you can normally see in Excel, right? So it's a simple table, and if I add the matrix here, let's just simply add a matrix tool here. So this is the matrix tool. It is another table, but in a row column format. So let's see, how do we want a top row or a header on our matrix. We can see we want to have a city here. If you can see, the city comes up here. Now I want the product under the city, like here. See, now there is small, let's zoom in a bit so that you can see. Now the products for each of the each city are under the top heading or top group of city. If I simply remove this this product slicer for a moment, so you can see Birmingham, blazer, caps, gloves, jackets, and trainers, leads, blazer, caps, gloves, and all other products. And now let's put some values in. So stock values, current stock, instead of putting it in a column, we will put this in values over here. So here you can see a matrix window, right? So where you can actually group the products together into different formats. So here we group the products city wise. If I click blazers, I can see blazers, caps and caps. If I just simply click gloves over here, you see gloves and Birmingham 1450. This visual responds to selection on this visual. We can do this otherwise as well. Let's put the products on top and city under. Now you can see how many blazers are there. 1756. How many in Birmingham, how many in Leeds, how many in London, how many in Manchester, right? And you can do this grouping in many different ways. uh, what is the best convenient for your work, whatever the work you are doing. Now let's put the slicer in again. For example, if I put the slicer here, and let's do a slicer and add the product name here, and go to the slicer setting and do it a drop down menu, or maybe leave it as a checklist, but only for a single select. Okay, so now we have two different visuals. One is matrix and one is table over here. Let's remove the table from there and just keep working with the matrix tool for now. So let's in the matrix tool over here, let's make this as tiles, and here are your tiles on top. Here is your matrix tool in bottom. So if you can see, you can keep working with different visuals. These are all of your groups that we have created, all the values. As I mentioned earlier, you have some visual specific properties that you can adjust your visual to, and you can have some general properties. So if you can see, the product name and the city comes as the column headers already over here. You can go into your visual specific setting, column headers, and change the color to say blue, and change the size, you say to 16. You can increase the width and length of the columns and the visual as a whole. We can, let's just like this, and we can also add, say for example, country to the values over here, right? If I open this, you can see Birmingham, UK, France, Germany, Italy, like this. Let's remove the country and then go over here and see if we can do the total setting and the values over here, and you can change the color, say this, and background color say blue, and the font text color say white. Total and specific column. If there is, if you want to change the setting on the specific column, for example, some of the current stock, so this is the current stock. If I want to apply some setting, maybe the text color is black, and the text color is white, and apply to totals only, do not apply to the values, right? Like this. And if I want to change more settings, I can go to the general. As you can, I told you, these are the generic settings available to all the visuals. I can give this title stock level, and I can change the font size, say 24. Let's centralize this. If you need a divider, it will put a line under. If you need a subtitle, we can have a subtitle, city buys stock. Let's centralize this. This is our, now let's just put a slicer in, and in the slicer let's put the country name in. Like this. Some further so do you want to see the border round? Yes, we can see the border round. We go to general, we go to effects, we go to visual border like this, we activate the shadow like this, see, and its shadow appears. We do the similar with this side as well. We activate the border, we activate the shadow, and now we can actually, and we will do a single select only. So go to slicer setting and selection and single select. Now we are at the mode. What we can see is the stock level in France, what the stock level in Germany, what the stock level in Italy, what the stock level in UK. And this is this, if you want to see the stock level of 364, what does this stock level is made up of? It is it's in Paris, blazers, and what we can do, let's change the grouping. Let's make the city the higher group like this. Germany, we only have one city as Munich, and let's see if what is the stock level in Munich. We have blazers, we have caps, we have gloves. What is the situation in UK? In multiple cities, Birmingham, Leeds, London, Manchester. If I just open, and I can see what is the stock level. So this is the matrix tool, and there are so many different settings and properties that you can do with the matrix tool. You can activate the grid if you want to see the lines like this, and you can also change the column settings on the specific columns. And if you want to change the cell elements, like some conditional formatting, some font colors and bars and other things like this data bars, we will come to this later. And also you can have this column headers. We just saw row headers, and we can maybe change the colors to whatever color you want to. If you can see the row header colors change over here. These are the plus minus icons. If you do not want this to be available to the customer, that they can actually use this plus minus to expand the groups, you can off this thing, and now it just keeps like this. And this setting will not be available to the user as such, depending on what your requirement is. right? So this is the matrix tool. It's available over here, and it's a very good, very useful tool in creating a very interactive visuals. And play around with some other settings over here. There are so many different settings that you can actually do and interact with other visuals as such. So this is the second video on our Power BI series. Next we will do some more settings. We will be looking at the conditional formattings. We will be also doing some DAX coding and quick measures that how we can do, and we also will be seeing some other optimization that is available in Visual Basic. So please do subscribe and like the channel for more interactive and more interesting courses. You can see a lot of Excel, Visual Basic, and VBA videos on my channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you.